we're gonna prepare roast chicken, 2 of them, because I want to make chicken soup, I want to make chicken salad, I want to make a nice roast chicken dinner followed by a bunch of other things. So I have 2 2-pound chickens. We're gonna set the oven to 375. We're gonna put it in the oven. When we do, it's gonna take approximately 3 hours, 2.5 to 3 hours for that to cook. All right, and I have a probe thermometer which I will use to check the meat to make sure that it gets to the right temperature and that it's done. All right. Aside from that, there's not much to it. Carrots, maybe some potatoes, some rosemary, some butter, salt, pepper. I think I have some sage up there. Sage is always good on chicken and any kind of bird. So let's get to it. First, you cut the plastic. Right. Some people have a really tough time dealing with how the meat feels and that sort of thing. Ew, blood, meat. I don't have much problems with that, but I cut my finger the other day and I don't want to take any chances, number 1. And number 2, it's always good to keep this clean. So you pull out the guts. I'm not going to use the giblets to make gravy or anything, so those are going to go in the trash. Chicken looks pretty good. I'm going to give it a rinse, inside and out, looking for any kind of weirdness. Okay, that's both ends. All right, make sure it's rinsed out completely. I'm going to put this in my roasting pan right away, and then we'll do the other one just the same way. You see how this skin is here? Well, you can get a space underneath that. Just stick your finger in there and it opens up a space. It's always in the same spot. It's just underneath the skin. Okay? And what I'm going to use that space for is to add flavor to the breasts. Oftentimes breast meat is, if it's overcooked, it's terrible. If it's not seasoned at all, it's usually pretty bland. But I'm a white meat person. I like the white meat on a chicken. So in order to make it better, what I do is I season it. Should probably light the oven now. I don't do that because we want it to get to 375 before we cook. I put some chicken broth in the bottom of the pan. Not enough to cover anything, just sort of the bottom of the pan to get it started. I've got some tiny pre-cut carrots, which I like. And they're easy to deal with. They don't take much time. And I'm going to dump them in because I like carrots with my chicken. And they're going to get delicious cooking in that same pot with the chickens because they're going to have the benefit of all the juice from the chicken. Okay? Don't want them sitting up top, really. You know, if one gets inside, that's fine. But overall, we just sort of want to be able to see the chicken to season it. So I got a pre-softened thing of butter here. And I'm going to take that butter, I'm going to cut it in half. Take this bit of butter and cut it in half. A little less than a stick, about 2 tablespoons. And I'm going to shove some of it up underneath here and here, right? Because we're not really trying to cook the skin. You know, I can put it on the outside, but I want that moisture on the inside too. So butter underneath the skin on the breast will keep the breast moist. And I rub the whole thing with some butter. All right. I can probably put some more in there. Now this butter can't be used again because I've been touching chicken and I've been touching the butter. So you might as well just sort of spread it around and use it, because you're not going to really be able to use this again. Now I'm going to go and get some fresh gloves because these have had it. All right. Now I'm going to take some salt. I can feel the kitchen getting hotter, so I know that the oven is getting hot too. Feel the kitchen getting hotter. Some black pepper. All right. Let's see if I can find that sage. Yeah, there it is. I'm running out. Don't have much left. But that's okay. Just hit it with some sage. Now, the reason that I'm not terribly worried about what the skin is going to look like when I'm done, because I'm not going to eat that part. But I do want the seasoning to get in there. So it's all seasoned on the outside. Last thing I'm going to do is add some rosemary. Rosemary is absolutely marvelous with just about everything, but with chicken in particular, it's especially good. So I'm just going to take a big stick of it like this, and I'm going to shove it up in that same cavity that I put the butter in. And I'll take another one, and I'll put it on the other side. I don't feel like you can have too much rosemary, especially in a nice roast chicken. All right, still got some rosemary left. And this pan, for all intents and purposes, is ready to go in the oven. And they're going to sit there for about 2.5 hours. I'm not going to check them until I can smell them. And then when I say until I can smell them, until they smell like they're done. Once they smell like they're done, they're probably done. That's why you use a thermometer to determine the exact right temperature. Anything over 165 should be fine. Okay, let me say that again. For the chicken to be done, all the meat, the thigh, the breast, all the meat has to be heated above the temperature of 165. Now, if you go way above 165, it's going to be tough. It's going to be overcooked. But between 165, 185, maybe as much as 200, you should be okay. Well, so it's been about 2.5 hours, and I'm about to check the temperature on the meat. Okay, so I'm going to get my gloves and we'll give that a shot. Let's get this up onto here. Close up the oven. Okay. Yeah, these chickens are looking good. These chickens are looking great. I've got my probe thermometer here, set to Fahrenheit. All right. So now we'll see if the meat is done. I'm going into one breast. All right, that one's for sure done. That one's done. Let me try a leg here. Oh yeah, that's done. Now the hardest part about checking this meat is to get in where the thigh is. So you go behind the leg, down into the meat. Yeah, that's done. Okay, so now this chicken is completely done. It's just pretty much perfect. I'm going to turn off the oven, and I'm going to cover it back up, because now it has to sit. It has to rest. It has to rest long enough for the chicken to start to cool. All right? As I said before, this chicken is for making other things. So I would do this normally on a Sunday, and I would cook meals for the entire week using this. All right? We're going to disassemble this chicken and keep the broth, keep the carrots, and keep the meat. And We can make chicken salad, we can make chicken soup, we can make chicken cacciatore, we can make a whole mess of other things during the course of the week. And this will last you at least a week. I got, like I said, 4 pounds of chicken. So let's wait for this to cool, and then we can do the disassembly process. This chicken pretty much right away, so I'm not going to bother putting that broth in with this chicken. But if I were going to store it for a long period of time, I would put the broth, some of the broth at least, in with that chicken and stick it in the freezer. Fish out all those carrots from the broth. Put them in this container. Do this without spilling it all over the place. Look at that. Not bad.